Hello everyone, this is Mike. In this video I'm going to show you the new SDRuno version 1.2. This is the beta. Final release will be in, I would say, in about 2 weeks, maybe less. I'm going to show you some of the new features. I'm not going to go over every specific feature, but I will show you a good majority of them. Alright, let's get started. The most important feature that I like, let me just reset SDRuno, is the new default workspace. You no longer have to make a workspace. It's going to, SDRuno is going to make a workspace for you by the resolution that the OS is being run at. So if I launch SDRuno, it's going to fill and populate the screen for me based on my system resolution. Each resolution is different per system, and certain things are going to be present or taken away, but this is one big plus. You no longer have to make a workspace. Not only that, the default workspace, which this is now going to have all the optimized settings that I've shown in video number 1 of SDRuno. So if we hit play, and we'll mute this, it's basically the same way that I have it set up in video 1, with a few minor differences, but it's basically the default setting that I use. That's the first thing. There's a lot to cover. I don't know if I want to cover everything, but I'll give you a good chunk of it. Alright, the second feature is naming your workspace and saving your workspace. So if I want to change this default workspace, we're going to call it Mike. Now to save it, it was a few steps you had to make to save your workspace. Now it's just Control W. You pick the workspace that you want it saved in. So as soon as you hit Control W, the workspace dialog is going to pop up. Select the name, and that's it. It's saved. So right click, name it, Control W, select, and it's automatically saved. Okay. Let's see what else has been added. Another big feature, hand band framing. You have the hand bands up here in the RX control. If you select one of these bands, 160, 80, 40, etc., the RSP is going to decimate and change the bandwidth automatically to frame the whole bandwidth of that hand band. So if I select 40, signal reduction, sample rate and the decimation, and it's showing me the complete hand band. If I go to 80, if I go to 20, 17, and another feature is that it's going to automatically pick the correct mode. So anything below 10 megahertz is usually lower sideband, anything above 10 megahertz is usually upper sideband. We'll go to 40, and it automatically selects lower sideband for you. Same thing if you go to 20. Another feature, per mode tuning steps. So if you select AM, it's going to automatically select 1 kilohertz. If you select lower sideband, it's going to be 250. And the same goes for upper sideband. So all the modes, and I believe CW is 10 hertz. Let's double check. 10 kilohertz. That's feature number 2. Power and signal noise to CSV. Click on your settings, name the file, and tell it where you want to save. So we'll put this right on the desktop, and let's enable it. And what this is going to do is this is going to take a power reading and write the values to CSV, and then you can take that CSV file and plot the data that this is acquiring. You can change the time that it's taking the reading through the time mark interval. It's set for 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, 10. It's right over here. And let's stop it. Let's take a quick peek at that CSV file. And while I minimize, I'll tell you another feature. The MA button that was in the main minimize is now fixed. Okay, here's that file. Let's move this here. So it's giving me the VFO frequency, the power, and dBm, and the signal or noise. And it took a reading every 5 seconds. Now you can take this file and upload it to a website and plot the data. And I can show you guys this. All these things, all these new features are going to be in their own video for SDRuno. So let's close that out. Let's see what else is new and exciting. When you zoom, it's going to auto center. So if I zoom out and I select this CW signal here and I zoom in, it's going to auto center. Another new option is resolution bandwidth, and this is going to change the resolution of the FFT, of the actual spectrum here. If you're running a low-end system and you're pegging the CPU meter over here in the main module, you can lower the resolution bandwidth. Well, let's find some signals and I can show you. And this is strictly visual. This is not going to affect the audio quality at all. Let's go to lower sideband. Let's zoom in. Now, if I want to make the resolution bandwidth higher detailed, I click on the right. So it's a little bit more detail. My CPU can handle it. If you're pegging it out, just lower the resolution bandwidth a little bit. And as you can see, this is purely graphical. It has nothing to do with the audio. Okay, let's see what else is new. Alright, we did the power and signal and noise, we did the resolution bandwidth, we did the zoom. Let me take a look at my paper. Okay, another feature was the filter band passes per mode. They were a little bit on the steep side in upper and lower sideband. They were at -200 in lower sideband. They're now changed to -100 for a little bit more fidelity, and also with the upper sideband. And I'll give you a before and after of how they were before and how they're going to be now.
Between the two industries.
So let's make this
a few aerospace firms.
Okay, a little bit wider. We'll zoom in. The default before was at -200, which sounded like this.
Because when I listen on the receiver, for some reason I hear a hum in the audio.
So now it's at -100 to bring a little bit more of the low end on both the lower sideband and the upper sideband.
Nothing at all. That's a
Okay, that's one small minor feature. I'm just looking over the paper. Okay, another feature. When you want to enter the frequency, you now have a megahertz button and you now have a decimal. So let's put this back to normal at 2 megahertz, decimation at 1. And let's go to 30 megahertz. So I select the RX control, it turns red, hit the space bar, type 30, and hit the megahertz button, and it goes right to megahertz. If you want to go to kilohertz, you just put in the decimals. And I think that pretty much covers it. I just want to double check this paper. Another small feature is the LO lock. There is a keyboard shortcut now for locking the LO. I believe it is Control K. Oh, okay, it is actually K. So if you hit K, you can lock the LO and tune within. The LO is going to be locked, and you can tune up and down the band. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now, everything that I showed you is a good chunk of what's to come. There's still a few more features and a few things they have to work out in the development department, but this is pretty much, I would say, I'm showing you 80% of what's here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please leave some comments. You guys know I answer all the comments, and that's basically it. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to chime in. Let me know what everybody thinks. All right, 7-3.